to own it. Just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
Today on Everything Sparkle, we are at the Lao Veterans Memorial Statue, Veterans of America. Thank you guys for coming out. So my friends here came from LA. We got Lorenzo and Henry. So tell us about your project, because this sounds really spicy.
Well, first, thank you, Sparkle, for having us here. Our film is called American Hun Story, and I play Stanley Birdie, who is getting divorced and beaten down by the new harsh realities that come with the divorce. And he gets a mysterious business card which has a phone number, and when he calls it, this man named Mr. Hun comes from a different universe and shows him a superpower that can turn it all around. And it's just a good movie. It'll be good entertainment to just show you that no matter what happens in life, you have it right here that you can turn anything around.
Okay, so what's the superpower? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, the superpower is it's streaming on Tubi and Amazon Prime, where you will find that superpower. Right, Henry?
Yes. Yeah, well, basically, this American Hun Story, the main message that the movie is trying to convey is to tell us that every single one of us has this superpower inside of us. It's not a physical superpower like what you see in the Marvels, those heroes, like the Spider-Man or the Hulk. It's the power that you will be able to unleash, and to be able to use this power to defeat all the obstacles and the roadblocks along your life. That's the superpower that we're trying to portray within this movie, American Hun Story. So I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, so how long did it take to write, come up with, direct, and all of that? Did you guys co-write it? Tell us a little bit about the process.
Yeah, so what's good, we all work together. We each have many hats that each of us wear. So we were actually in production for our show coming out after this, So You Think You Can Act, all about actors, and we were traveling to Las Vegas, and we started talking about those in like the 80s and early 90s, those 900 numbers that used to come on, and they were just so cheesy. You know, like they would go, "Welcome to Intimate Connections. Are you bored?" You know, things like that. And we just found it so cheesy. So we were like, why don't we take something like that and make something, make it like so ridiculous and put it on social media. And then as we were talking with his brother, who's also the director and co-writer, him and I wrote it, we decided to make it into a feature and real problems that people are facing, give them real solutions with just a interesting way to deliver it. So Telly Sher and I wrote it. He directed it. Henry here, he did some amazing special effects that I think people like.
Oh, so you're the special effects guy. Okay, so tell us some of that. Can you give us anything?
Advice.
Anything.
Oh, I can try to make time slow down. Well, I'm the special effects specialist in this movie making process. I'm pretty sure a lot of the visual effects experts have heard this software is called Adobe After Effects. Basically, that's the only program that I use. So what you'll see in this movie, you'll see characters pop out of nowhere or disappear instantly with a bunch of shiny little stars, you name it. It'll be very interesting. You'll be seeing a lot of great special effects.
Okay, so I remember last time you guys were on my show a couple years ago, you talked about So You Think You Can Act. So what happened? It was on YouTube?
No, not on YouTube. Okay, so when we have done many things together. We started out doing short films, and then we transitioned to feature films into Tartarus. That was our first feature. It's on streaming services. And then we did this film, and then we said, there is nothing out there for actors. I researched it. They had a reality show for doormen in New York, but they have nothing for actors. And it's always like, just try real hard, Sparkle. Just don't give up. Give me something more than just that. I know try real hard, but give me a path. So we were thinking about it and created a reality show that gives real world advice on how you can be successful as an actor. and we talked to many industry professionals. For example, we talked to Kelly Schwartz. He owns a movie studio in Las Vegas. We talked to Del Weston, who has one of the top film festivals, and many other people who are doing it, and they provide real advice on how to do it. Also, we talked to a photographer. We talked to a gentleman who owns one of the biggest casting companies on, not Backstage, but I can't remember, but we talked to him. We talked to every person in entertainment to provide their viewpoint on how actors can be successful. Then we take them through an audition process, and kind of like a competition to like American Idol. So we're working on that, and we proud to say we have a showrunner helping us out to get it out there. So hopefully Discovery Plus.
Okay, so we will see this soon.
Maybe it'll sparkle on Discovery Plus. You see what I did there?
Okay, so right now you have like episodes ready to go when you sell it. So that's
It's a 10 episode series.
and then if it takes off, then more people are gonna see that and be like, I want to be on that show.
What's also good is we give the whole reality. Like, we give an origin of how acting started. We tell why about agents. We tell about SAG and the unions, how the percentage of people that work and how we give like the whole thing so people really see what actors go through.
And how hard it is.
It's definitely hard, yeah.
Okay, so is it anything like American Idol? Are people gonna go on? There's no like Simon Cowell that says you can't act.
No, what would you say, Henry? It's more like how to succeed in acting, but not just.
I mean, you're a living example right here, right? And you are the main host of the show, so go ahead.
Well.
Okay, so if I'm a contestant, if I say I want to be on, so you think you can act? What would I be doing? So let's say, come on set. What am I doing?
Oh, okay. Well, first what we did is it's an audition process. So we had we called in actors, total open call, and we had them do some pretty crazy, interesting things. And then we had every different category there is as an actor. So like I said, photographer, where you would submit to jobs, like a Backstage. We talked to one of the owners there. So this way everyone knows not just work real hard, but like how to make proper headshots. So we talked to one of the top photographers, Catherine Farnsworth, to give a viewpoint of how to get a great headshot. And it's so we're finishing up now, working with the showrunner to we're hoping for a nice streaming service, but the point is you keep going, you don't give up, and eventually it'll get out there. I'm pretty confident by early next year it'll be out there on streaming services.
Sounds good.
It will sparkle on streaming services.
As always.
I just
Sparkle.
Want you to know I love your name. I wish I had a fun name like that.
I love
Okay.
because I think
Sparkle.
Lorenzo Leonard is like pretty
I think I would
badass.
do great as a sparkle. I would actually request some people throwing like pixie dust everywhere I go to show me sparkling. Right? Wouldn't that be good? Yeah.
You should do that, right?
Yeah, we should do that. Absolutely.
That'll be our next reality show.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, it'll be the cool name reality show. So you think you have a badass name, and then everyone has to,
Yeah. Do you like? Has it been easy growing up with a sparkle as your name?
What do you think?
Yeah.
Hey, you got a rocky attitude.
Yes. You gotta have rocky attitude.
Rocky attitude. Okay, so you guys tell us a little bit again. Are you guys a production team? And then there was another guy last time. Are you still with that guy, or we don't have that guy anymore? Okay, so there's 3 of you. So what do you guys all do together typically?
Typically, he's the one that's got the mouth. So he does all the PR work, public relations, try to find agents or any other people that share the same interest. So I'm the main post-production person. So I do visual effects, sound effects, music composition, editing, you name it. Whatever you can think of in post-production, I'm in charge. And then my brother, he does story writing, production managing, most of the background part of the big projects. And so is Lorenzo. Lorenzo is an actor, so there's so many experience that you can share as an actor. Right?
Yeah, no, so I act and then I write, and together we, any idea we have, we put together and we put it out there. But American Hunt Story, super proud of it. We made a good film that, proves that you don't need hundreds, millions of dollars to make a film and put it out there, and you could still be successful.
And then you do a lot of other stuff. We just had Matt Scott's on recently. Your movie's great, Girl on the Mountain. So how do you get these? How do you even have time to come here and do that and then do your thing? What do you like more? Do you like acting more? Or do you like the creative process behind like writing and stuff?
I think for me they're both neck and neck, but writing is like, writing is like getting divorced. It's so horrible, but you're so excited at the end when you get it done. It's a painful process. It really is. No one wakes up. I don't care what anybody says. No one wakes up and said, "God, I really want to be a screenwriter." I don't know. It's painful. But at the end, when you get it done and it's out there, you're like, "Wow, we did it." That's why we work really well together. So we'll all come up with an idea. I like the writing, so I'll research it. I'll write it, and then we'll show it to everyone, and they'll provide their redrafts, and we get it done.
And then when you're casting, so did you do the casting for this movie as well?
Yeah, all three of us did. We did castings on Backstage West, LA Casting, and there was another like LA Star that Telly found. But we did, and what's amazing about it is, like, it's so hard to get acting jobs, but still you find unprofessional actors that don't, oh, you're only paying $200? Oh, I have to do that,
Right.
Yeah, it's they want the autographs, they want the fame, but they don't want the work. They want the sparkle without the everybody sparkles. I don't know. I was trying to put it together. Yeah.
So that would be another great topic on the So You Think You Can Act, to bring that up about all the crazy stuff that you guys have to deal with. And that's why I feel bad for people that make movies, because I'm on set seeing like those sides of.
You know. Yeah, you work really hard at this. I'm sure you see lots of craziness.
Yeah, lots of craziness. So it is good to talk about them.
You've seen people, they mix up days and times, and they don't know what to do.
Yeah, well
And then they end up at the Veterans of America.
But this is so cool. So I mean, this is how you turn, what is it, lemon into lemonade?
This
actually looks great.
Water into lemon. This is what you call a professional host.
Yes.
It really is.
We really appreciate Sparkle and Drew being here with us, having this interview.
Yes, but that's us. That's the film, and we hope everybody watches.
So what's coming up next? Where can we keep up? What are your Instagrams, and can we keep up with what's going on? And then do you also post when you're casting, what you're filming, and what's going? How do you?
Yeah, well, First American Hun Story, you can just put that in all social medias, and it'll come up on Instagram and on Facebook. I have Lorenzo Leonard on all social medias, and I believe he does too.
Yeah, it's FTE Film in Instagram account, and we also have that on our Facebook. It's also FTE. It's actually FTE Film Production. So type it up. You'll be able to
I've been on I've been following your personal. Now I need to follow this professional one.
Oh, yeah, From the Earth Production. Yeah,
From the Earth.
Henry,
Yeah, From the Earth Production.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, yes, but you guys are pretty open about what's coming up next and what we can expect from you.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, this is So You Think You Can Act. I'm assuming with post-production, it'll probably be out if our awesome showrunner, he'll get it done early next year, and then we're going to be starting production on a horror film that we wrote.
Oh yeah.
Yes, about our next project about female demons. So basically, every
Don't look at.
marriage except mine. My wife is awesome. Yes.
You're looking at Sparkle.
I know. What was up with that?
Who else am I supposed to look at? Oh wait, let's try it again. Hold on, ready? See, take two. And our next project is about female demons.
So when you guys collab, what's the collab process like? Because he goes wild. Do you have to hone in, tone him down? Because I feel like you're the one that reels him in.
Actually, it's usually my brother. My brother is the one that actually try to calm him down when it needs to. But usually, yeah, we're very different. My brother is the one that speaks with monotone.
Yes.
Yeah, that you can't really tell what stage he's in, what emotional status he has at the moment, right?
Well, it's a good typical director where he's got a lot of balls in the brain going, and going through all of them. But yeah, that's what we're going on right now, and we work pretty well. We'll get an idea, and I'll text him like, So You Think You Can Act. I was sitting there and I texted Telly right away. We should do this about actors. Let's get it done. Talk to your brother.
So how do you guys get involved with the Central Valley acting scene? Because I know you guys are super involved in that, and it's how did you get involved when you're in LA? Tell us that story, because I don't really know the backstory between you and Sconce and how you guys all came together.
Oh well, Sconce is good because it all derived from short films, And people say short films are a waste of time, but no, we did a short film, and we did many short films, and that and our last one got into 10 film festivals. We got it on Amazon, and through that we met many people, one being Matt Sconce, kept in touch with him, and then he had auditions for Killing Kate, and I was like, great, awesome, drove out there and got that, and then the Girl on the Mountain. Girl on the Mountain was good because I didn't see any roles really right for me, but I was like, you know, I know as an actor, I think I can do that really great. And so Matt, he's such just a kind guy. You know, he doesn't want to hurt your feelings if you're not exactly right. So he was very nice. You know, Lorenzo, I'm looking for this and this. I was like, well, you know what, Matt, I want to drive out there and I'm going to show you that I can do this. I got my beard, I will drive and I'll show you that I can do it. Like, oh, great, Lorenzo. So then he just called me and says, you know what, don't drive, it's yours. I like that attitude. So
How long did it take you to grow the beard?
well, that beard for the film was 3 months. Yeah, but what was funny about it, Matt said, let's grow our beard. And I show up on set, no one has a beard.
Oh, I love it. You got punked?
No, well, I figure I stood out. They had 5 o'clock shadows. But no, it all derives from your short films. You know, we started short films, we learned about distribution, we met Matt, and we met many other people that have helped us on this film. Like we met Kelly Schwartz, and he's helped us a lot with this film. We've sent him This American Hunt story, he gave us his viewpoints. And also with this film, which is good, we talked about it deals with 3 issues. Deals with depression, insomnia, and finance. Thank you. See, that's why we work well.
Isn't that what every actor goes through?
Right? I'm broke. Yeah, I can't sleep. I'm depressed. But we called in real professionals. So the advice you get from insomnia is from a real UCLA professor, medical doctor in insomnia, and financial professional. And then the gentleman who gives the guru. That's what he does for a living. He does self-help.
And so when she's out trying to be a movie star, what do you do and your brother do? Because you guys are really talented with the whole behind the scenes and the special effects. Do you guys work on other projects as well besides just doing stuff with them, or it's always a threesome collab?
Oh yeah, definitely. We actually have our own production project going on. They're still in the early development stage. It's about artificial intelligence, which I think is a hot topic for all the young people. And the whatever that we're seeing now with the new technology that's coming up. So we do have our own personal projects where we post on YouTube channel. We have our own YouTube channel, as I have mentioned earlier.
I'm subscribed. It comes up. I look at all your guys' YouTube. That does pop up.
Oh, good.
Oh, really?
Okay.
That's cool. That's great.
It's popping up.
Yeah. So we do have our own projects that we're working on the side, but we enjoy working together as a team with Lorenzo. He's part of the family. We can't just separate,
But he's so busy with it. That's why I was just like.
Well, he too. He's married with kids. We're both married with kids, and it's nice going after the things you want in life. And I follow your stuff on. I like all your stuff.
Yeah, and Sparkle, I think I enjoy watching a lot of your stories. I think you have a lot of positive vibes. This is what we need. We need some positivities in the society. What we're seeing out there is chaos and violence. There's nothing inspirational. So one of the main points of American Hunt Story is to bring out inspirational content to the audience. Watch it, laugh, get inspired, and that's the whole point of the movie.
So did you guys get tired of doing the inspirational and say, demons, now we're going to go demons? Well, how did that's a very contrasting thing.
Well, what's funny for me, I don't know what it is, but I'll just be standing there and just an idea will come into my head. So my wife watches all these paranormal shows. So it was like 1 o'clock, we were going to bed, and then I was just looking out the window and I was like, oh, we should do that. I don't think they've ever done that before. I've never seen, and so I researched it. I've never seen a movie about this topic. So we wrote it. I'm super excited about it. I think it's super original. And they just come into my head. I don't know. Yes. Wait, one's coming now.
Well, this is really cool. I'm so glad to see what you guys are doing. Thank you so much for driving from LA to the Central Valley. That's really good. And that shows what kind of guys you are to do stuff like that because.
Well, no, honestly, thank you. You're professional. You're nice. You're accommodating. So we're just happy that you allowed us to be on the show. It's always good to see you, Sparkle.
Everybody follow their Instagrams.
Wait, like a picture.
Hi, I heard about 1-844-HUNT for fun, and honestly, I'm really looking for some fun. Definitely call me back. Thank you so much for all your advertisements.
Hey, loser. Just calling to remind you to have a crappy day, and I hate you, and I hope you trip and fall and break your face. Bye.
So that's what I want to do for my kids. Leave them a legacy.
Life insurance.
Please, I'm sorry. I'll get it resolved. But can you just please help me?
Oh no.
You're gonna pay for my house, my car, my traveling, my jewelry.
No grudge. No anger, no apathy, no defiance, no frustration.
I fought 400 for fun.
そうこのアメリカ人のコマーシャルバカバカしいけど
We'll fix you up, honey.
Thank you so much for coming on my show today, Clay.
Well, thank you for having me, Sparkle.
Okay, so tell us what you do, what your business, your company does.
My business is my partner and myself. It's called Active Transport Medical Services. We established ourselves way back in 2017, pre-COVID, just basically providing non-emergency transportation in the Fresno area, Fresno County.
And you typically work with older people, right?
We work with older people. We've transported younger people, just an array of people, different ages, different backgrounds, you know, so it's just based on their needs and what we provide. The services that we do provide are gurney services, primarily now, and then occasionally wheelchair services is also.
Oh, that's good. So that's like a really good community service, because everybody needs to be transported.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've gotten some requests, people wanting to be transported to the casino to gamble for a few hours, or people wanting to go, yes, to medical appointments. We've had even requests to go out to take someone to their last outing before they pass, so that they can enjoy maybe a sunset. Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get to take that one. They passed away before they got to partake in that, but it was something special. You know, providing transport even for a patient that was going to pass away and decided they want to pass in Mexico. So we took them all the way to the San Diego-Mexico border and California and Mexico border, and basically met the Mexican ambulance service with the paramedics and the doctor, transferred them into the ambulance, and then they drove them into the country.
Wow, that's really cool.
So we get to take a large variety of people. We work with hospice companies, so we are able to provide hospice transportation for people that are maybe going on respite. So that we also are, we have our hands in that as well.
Yeah, because and it's funny that you say that, just even to go to the casinos, because you can't Uber when you're in a wheelchair.
Yeah, it's very difficult. So yeah, we do, like I said, provide the wheelchair transportation. It works out well because we have ramps. We have the actual lift that goes in that they are wheeled onto, and it lifts them up. So that's even with the van, so you can just walk them right in. So yeah, it works out really well for people that are, in wheelchairs that need that type of transportation.
What was it like during COVID for you? What were the challenges you guys had with that?
A lot of masks, a lot of PPE, a lot of people throwing it on the ground, walking over to their stuff, just to get a person in the building. It was very difficult to even find protective equipment at that time because of the mass amount of people that were just buying and purchasing, rubber gloves, the masks, and all of those sort of things. So it really created a shortage for us. And it was really difficult to get the necessities, the necessary proper, protective equipment in to even keep ourselves fully stocked.
Did you get COVID patient people that thought they had COVID that wanted to be transported?
We operate in Merced County also, and that's we have our ambulance division there. Here in Fresno County, we have our litter van service. So in Fresno County, the whole 7th floor of the hospital was basically dedicated to COVID patients. So we were constantly taking COVID patients out.
Wow.
On the daily. That was even before there were any vaccinations or anything. So, it was a matter of gowning up correctly, putting on the correct mask, all of those sort of things. So,
wow.
The main thing for us during COVID, we slowed down for like the first month, and then it picked back up because a lot of the COVID patients could only go to certain facilities because not every facility was accepting COVID patients. And so when it really got out of control and a lot of the facilities already had COVID patients, it was a little easier getting them admitted to places. But even the state came in at one point, and we were taking patients all the way to Porterville from Merced because they opened up a big medical facility there to take just COVID patients. But that only lasted a couple of weeks. But the state was basically providing that transportation for these people.
But you can transport people in emergency or non-emergency situations. It's just about insurances. How does that kind of work?
Well, there's different types of insurance, right? So you have private insurance, you have Medicare, and then you have Medi-Cal. So depending on the type of insurance you have will depend on whether or not they'll pay for, let's say, a litter van service, and based on the necessity of that particular transport. So mainly, most of the time, 99% of the time, it's going to be out of pocket for a lot of the transports that we do because there's not a medical necessity. Now, if a person is bedbound, they're unable to stand up on their own, pivot on their own, and they're going to a medical appointment, and that's a necessity because of their condition, whatever it may be. At that point, if they are of age and they have Medicare, and it's a medical necessity, Medicare should be able to flip the bill for that. But at that point, in this county, that would have to be provided by an ambulance service because ambulance service is the only service that can bill Medicare. So Medi-Cal, a litter van service, there's different vendors that work with Medi-Cal, and Medi-Cal will pay for transportation, but it's so minimal, the compensation that they provide, it's not justifiable, unfortunately, to transport, for us anyways, at that cost. The cost for Medi-Cal has not increased since 1997.
So what's the difference in prices? So when people don't want to get an ambulance, they're like, don't call an ambulance, I don't want to spend all that based on you. What's kind of the percentage of calling you instead of calling an ambulance?
Well, in lieu of, you mean, for having an ambulance service, even we provide, again, services in Merced County, we don't respond to 911 calls. Right. So what we provide is basically non-emergency discharges, basic life support services. So these are patients that are going to another facility, maybe for a higher level of care, in IFT. So for us, if they're going to be calling us and they're going to be flipping the bill, we try to make sure that it's not covered by insurance before we take them. Did that properly answer your question?
I think so, but I was just like, if someone was unsure and they're like, should we call it? Because like you said, it would be cheaper to use litter services.
Oh,
than to call
yeah, it would be.
I wanted to know what the difference in, like, is it like a third of what it would be like to call?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
like
yeah.
So the difference is not actual brass tacks, but like a third, whether it was like a third or a fourth.
Yeah, and it's more than half. Okay. And so that would be like if a person has been admitted to the hospital. So let's just say they were taken to the hospital in an ambulance, right?
Okay.
And the person was actually bedbound, and they needed to provide themselves transportation home. I've seen it where family will show up with a van, and they'll literally roll the family member out to a van and lay them in the back of the van because they can't afford the service to provide the proper transportation utilizing a gurney and a litter van. But nonetheless, typically the hospital will not flip the bill for it unless they have to. So at that point, it's on the patient to get that transportation home. And so, yeah, we're by far less than half of the expense of the ambulance service would provide. To take a patient home, to take a patient back to a care home facility, maybe to a SNF, those sort of places. Rehabilitation center.
Where will you go with a litter van? What's the radius? I know you said you drove someone to Mexico, but where do you have to originate from? And as far as
for us, originating depends on obviously who's calling and where we're picking them up at. But we'll service pretty much anyone in Fresno County that needs a litter van service. And if they want to get that transportation to, let's just say, Merced County, we'll provide that. We do take hospice patients quite a bit from Merced County into Fresno County. We take hospice patients out of Fresno County back into Merced County, like Las Banas, or even Merced.
So as long as they originate here, you take them anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, if we get a call here in Fresno County and we have to pick the patient up, it has to be in a litter van because there's only one company that has a sole contract for the county to be able to utilize an ambulance. So, and if a patient is needing to get transportation to and from the hospital or to a medical appointment, and again, it's a medical necessity, they always want to check with the local ambulance provider to make sure that it's covered by Medicare.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
Who do you call for that?
You can call the ambulance company themselves, and you can let them know, what the situation is, and they have a billing department that should be able to help answer some of those questions. So, but the flip side of that is the ambulance service in Fresno County is so extremely busy that they can pick and choose who they want to take.
Right.
And, someone needing to go to a medical appointment versus leaving the unit open to take 911 calls. So
you're going to be on a backlist if that's your.
It can be on a backlist or maybe a no list at all, depending upon, what the reason for the transportation is.
And it's gotten worse, like after COVID, right? Because we're losing a lot of our workers now, and so there's a lot less availability of people able to take them. Before they're willing, you said they have to be willing, but they're not even able because of a backlog.
I mean, you're talking about a lot of the baby boomers at this point in time are aging. A baby boomer era, as I mentioned earlier, runs from 1946 to 1964. Mm-hmm. That's considered the baby boomer era. And, war was ending. They came back. World War II was over. Came back. They were excited to be home. So there's a lot of babies that were made. So this baby boomer era is now aging. So in the next 10 to 20 years, that's why you see a lot of assisted living facilities being built, because they're expecting a huge influx of baby boomers. And my father falls in that category, born in 50, now he's 72. So I mean, it's just starting. We're just getting into the middle of it within the next 10 years.
And that's such a disadvantage, like call and like not even be able to be serviced. That ambulance won't pick you up if you need that. So that's why you come in handy, because you're providing that service. We
can provide that service at a fraction of the cost.
That's so cool.
It works out really well for the patient. A lot of times we'll get, they've called multiple places. They're shopping around. They're looking for the best price, obviously. And you always hear, oh, that's so much less than the ambulance service was going to charge us. You got to understand the ambulance service is it's profit company like ours. They're in it to make a profit, but their overhead is much more than ours. We don't have all the other additional expenses that they have to incur through their daily operations. So that's why we're able to provide that at a fraction of a cost.
And what about gas? When gas prices went way up. How did that affect you guys?
You know, gas is still up. I mean, it hasn't come back down. We're still higher than where it has been. You know, we have to increase our, you know, increase our bottom dollar. I mean, so the reality is for us, because a lot of the services that we provide, we're in a vehicle. We're spending a lot of money on fuel. So we've had to increase our, you know, our premiums a little, or not premiums, but our service a little bit. We had to, you know, increase the cost of that to help offset that. But we really try to look out. The bottom line is we got into this business to help people. We're in the business of helping people. We've had it where they've called us and they can't afford it at all. And so we were there to help them.
Wow.
And we made it happen.
And then so how did you were supposed to take someone to Mexico and then get met by the ambulance there. I imagine that would have to be set up way in advance to do something like that, right?
Yeah, I think
that's a big.
Well, that particular one, it was actually done in one of our ambulances. So the patient was, you know, basically on hospice. They knew that his time was short. So it was coordinated. He obviously had family in Mexico. So it was coordinated with his family and then the family in Mexico. And so when we drove to San Diego, they actually came in on the San Diego side and they met with our unit.
Wow.
And they just transferred him into the van and took him into Mexico.
That's really cool.
So it is very gratifying. There's been times where, you know, you just feel your heart just sink, you know, because you really, even the little time that we're with these patients, you get connected. There's some kind of a connection.
Well, especially on a long drive like that, I imagine, and that's got to be something. I mean, everyone's in a desperate spot if they're, you know, coming to you. They're sick.
Yeah, they're sick. Maybe, I don't know, we've taken people to dentist appointments. So it's a whole slew of people, you know, but mainly, yes, primarily they are sick. There's underlying medical conditions. They're bedbound, you know, whatever it is. Taking people to dialysis that have diabetes, obviously. So they've lost a few limbs. So we've dealt with that as well. So it's a continual thing. Business for us has actually increased. It hasn't slowed down, but my heart still goes out to each and every individual person that we transport. You know, and some of the most gratifying things that I can see when we pick up patients, especially out of the hospital, and I'm talking out of the hospital in Merced, is when family is actually gathered in the room to support them. There's a lot of times where you go and to pick the patient up and there's no family there to support them, no one there to hold their hand, no one there to, you know, help them through the process.
And you're kind of that person.
And so, yes, and so we're an extension of that. And that's what I tell my employees. We are an extension of their family. And every transport that we provide, we've got to act as if it's our mom or our dad or our brother or our sister, because ultimately these people have lives just like you and I do. They're not just a cardboard box or some kind of package. So communication is about 90% of what we do.
I bet you have some good stories. Is there any you want to share? What's one of like a story that you really remember that really touched you?
Well, there's a few interesting stories. I'll share a kind of a funny story, kind of the situational thing that we can get into. And I do actually have one story about a couple. But nonetheless, there was one lady that we took home. She swore she had her keys to get in her place. Get over there, and she doesn't have her keys. They're not working or whatever. So I actually had to crawl through a window. She's like, you can crawl through my window and unlock the door on the inside. And so I crawled through the window. My head ended up in the sink. I eventually made it to the floor because it was in her kitchen. And I was able to unlock the door, and then we were able to get her to her apartment.
That is funny.
That's pretty cool. You know, so sometimes you go above and beyond. And there's other times, took a gentleman home, 100 years old or so, if I remember correctly, about 100, 101. And his wife was 97, 98, been married for 75 years. 75 years.
Wow.
And so that was in Merced. We actually picked him up out of Mercy Hospital in Merced, and we took the gentleman to his living quarters where he was going to be staying. Obviously it wasn't at home, it was at a care facility. But nonetheless, when we arrived, she was waiting on him, and she goes, well, I've been waiting 75 years for you. And he just laughed. He said, well, you're going to wait a little longer. anyways, that's just.
So they both lived at the care facility?
Well, no, he was actually being admitted there because it was too much for her to take care of him.
I imagine.
So that's why she was having him. Yes. So, but nonetheless, I mean, 75 years of marriage, right? I mean, when do you hear that anymore?
I never.
So it was really heart touching to be able to experience that and the warmth that they provided to each other, and then that rubbed off on me. So I enjoyed that greatly.
Have you gotten some weird ailments? Seen some things that you were like surprised? They're like.
Yeah, we've had people that we've taken, unfortunately, during transport pass away. During transport.
What was that like?
I was actually on one of them. It was a hospice patient, and unfortunately, a lot of times, hospice patients that are on their way out, they're going to hold on as long as they can. So when we pick them up at the hospital or at wherever they're living and they're with family, they're holding on. They're not right. Really letting go at that point. And so we've had it happen more than once where we actually get the patient into the vehicle and they let themselves go. I think it's kind of a controlled thing. I don't know why it is, but it always seems to work out that way. And so I've ran into that a few times, and that's
where do you take them at that point?
Well, at that point, when this happened originally, the first time it happened, we were just pulling into the care home, to the hospice house. Heinz has a hospice house, so we were pulling in there, and the nurses came in and they verified, and yeah, so we took them inside, and that's where they, did their procedure. So whatever it was, whatever phone calls they had to make.
So that was kind of out of your hands at that point.
Yeah, and that, I mean, it does really leave you feeling empty, to experience that, to know that a life was just with you and now they're gone. There's no words for it, But I know that we did our part because we were able to provide that transportation. We were able to begin that process to take the patient where they were needing to go. Unfortunately, they just didn't make it.
So if we want your services at any time, do you have a number or a website you could provide for the viewers?
Yeah, if anyone's listening out there, my name's Clay. I'm one of the owners of Active Transport. We do have a dispatch line. It's 559-575-0431. Again, it's 559-575-0431. And, we're always taking a lot of phone calls. We have quite a few transports that we provide daily. We do operate 7 days a week. We have services available typically at 6 a.m. in the morning all the way up till 2 a.m., give or take in the morning.
That's really good. I mean, that's almost 24 hours. Is it 20 hours
It's
a day
almost 24.
20 hours a day you guys are running, and that's good.
It's 7 days a week. And so, yeah, I mean, the services are there. We do have a lot of people that book in advance. So if you're needing like transport on demand, it's always a good idea to call and see if we can provide that. If not, we're very transparent. We want to help you get that transport. We'll give you names and numbers of other companies that are reputable in the area to help you get that transportation.
Thank you so much for coming on my show today.
Well, thank you for having me, Sparkle. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming on my show today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Tell my viewers who you are and what you do.
Well, my name's Alex Reyna. I'm the secretary for the Fresno County Republican National Hispanic Assembly. We are a group of American citizens that support Hispanic citizens. We were established in 1967 to help educate the Hispanic voter and also to encourage them to join the Republican platform. And yeah, a little disclaimer, I'm not the spokesperson for the RNHA, so if anybody wants to know any more about it, they should go to FresnoRNHA.org.
You're the secretary, right?
Yes, secretary, yes. So I'll just speak on my behalf from my experience working with the organization, so yeah.
What are some of the challenges you guys face? Because I think, the big misconception is most Hispanics are Democratic voters, and I know it's risen to where there's more Republican voters now. What are some of the challenges you face in that?
Well, to be honest, I come from a long line of, I call myself, I used to be a generational Democrat. So a long time ago, just my parents were Democrats, and I guess that was back in the days when, JFK and, there was a certain type of Democrat that was more kind of center.
Everything's evolved
Yeah.
into something different. I know.
wow,
yeah. Democrats back in the day, I totally understand that. I get it.
Yeah. So the party itself went so far left, and as I got older and started getting more educated about, stuff going on in the world and issues facing, not just the Hispanic community, but everybody really. I started to realize that most of my beliefs growing up actually align with the Republican Party more than the Democratic Party. So that's kind of what brought me in, and I was also able to, I'm a DT 45 fan, so I consider myself a MAGA conservative. So I want what's best for the country as a whole. There's a lot of opposition out there, and to me, I see things differently. It's not a battle between blue and red. It's more of like good and evil. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of how I see things. So there's, I guess we can say, bad people with bad intentions on both sides, maybe.
Yeah.
But I just try to stay vigilant, and I wouldn't be involved in something if it wasn't something that I really believed in.
So tell us about this community. How many people are members? How do you become a member? How do you become involved with this?
Well, actually, you know what? Surprisingly, it's not really we're actually a group of American citizens, so you don't have to be Hispanic to actually join. We have a very diverse group, so we all work together, and actually our goal is to reach out to the Hispanic community. So you don't even have to know Spanish, honestly.
Well, good. Yeah. I'm going to be working with you. I'm glad that I can.
Yeah. To be honest, we welcome everybody, and so it's it's open to whoever wants to join. We do a lot of fun things. We do events, outreaches, and we work closely with the Fresno County Republican Party. So I'm actually on the county committee as well with District 1. So anybody's welcome to join us.
So how do we get involved in that? Is there a website? How do we contact you? The one that you said?
Yeah, FresnoRNHA.org is our website.
What's the RNHA stand for?
Republican National Hispanic Assembly.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's kind of long, but it is. Sometimes it's a tongue twister.
I was trying to wrap my head around each word. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's a tongue twister, but we actually, we're trying to do some more community outreach, so we'll be reaching out to the voter base pretty soon, and that's the best way right now is the website.
How often do you guys get together is there like a monthly meeting, a bi-monthly, like how often do you guys do get together when you become a member?
Actually, we do have our monthly meetings, and they're actually open to the public. We have different locations. We're actually
good. That's good.
Yeah, we meet the third Monday of every month.
Okay.
So right now we're doing a tour of Mexican restaurants. Everybody loves Mexican food. I'm hoping.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's not too good for us, but it's hard to say no for me to an enchilada or a nice taco. But anyways.
So you're doing a tour of all the
Yeah, we're doing a tour of different Mexican restaurants. We have our meeting.
And you go, you stretch out of the valley. I imagine you've gone to Selma and some other places, right? It's not just Fresno?
Well, actually, surprisingly, some of these restaurants have like big, we stick to Fresno though. Like it's kind of, we everybody's welcome to come from the outlining cities or whatever, but right now we're just localized here in Fresno City, but our outreach is the whole county. So but surprisingly, some of these restaurants, they're very good hosts to us, so the food's good. They have like conference rooms and stuff like that for us to use. And
do you guys go to Bobby Salazar's?
Not yet, not yet.
Well, that's the sponsor of this show.
So is it really? All right. Hey, I'll keep that in mind. I appreciate that.
I will definitely. I could set that up for you.
Nice. Definitely. We're just making a little tour to different spots, and trying to get ready for the midterms coming up, and
And so the event that you're going to have coming up, is it to get the Hispanic elects known, like some of the people that you guys, because you guys are kind of backing some of the Hispanic candidates that are the Hispanic Republican candidates, right?
Yeah, well, that is one of our objectives, is to support Hispanics that want to run for office. actually, you don't necessarily have to be a Hispanic for us to support you, as long as you support the Republican platform. You know, that's what we do. We kind of, you know, just kind of, basically we're in touch with all the voters, so we kind of go out there and inform the voters of, you know, stuff.
Right.
That, yeah.
So are you going to organize some of these meet and greets so we can meet some of the Hispanic?
Some of the candidates?
Yeah,
of course.
Hispanic candidates. So it was like, you know, here we go. So
yeah,
because that's why I think a lot of people want to know, like, who's this? Who's that? What do they represent?
Yeah. We have some wonderful candidates like Michael Marr, Amnon Shore, Fernando Buñuelos. He's going to be running for mayor. Parlier, I believe. He might be in touch with you. I don't know.
Great. I've had Michael Marr here, so.
Yeah, really. I love Michael Marr.
He's great.
He's a good man. Yeah, I think he's going to do it this time. So, yeah. So.
Well, that's great news. So definitely, if we stay on touch with the website, do you guys have like Facebook and Instagram that we could see what's going on, so we could know when these meet and greets are? And go
of course, yeah. We do have a Facebook. You would just have to type in the whole long title, Fresno County Republican National Hispanic Assembly. It'll pop up. And yeah, we actually post. You know, we try to update it every once in a while with things that we're doing, and yeah. So that event that I was speaking about, that's one of our. We want that to be a kind of like our main fundraiser kind of event, and to engage with the community and offer a chance for us to you know, just get to know our community and introduce some candidates. So that's going to be called the Republican Revival. So
and I can't wait to go host. I mean, this is going to be fun. Everyone's going to keep paying attention and watching, because I will definitely be there.
Yeah.
And that'd be a great meet and greet. That's just a great meet and greet for everyone to know who everybody is.
Yes, we're excited about it. Nothing's finalized yet. It's kind of like
that's why you'll have to keep in touch with the website and everything. And I'll post all the stuff so we know in the day. It's probably sometime in November though. So.
Yeah, we're hoping, but yeah, we'll be in touch on that. So nothing's finalized, but we kind of want to be like a dinner and maybe some dancing. I don't know. We'll see. I like to dance, but
see, Republicans get down. We get down.
Yeah, I like to dance. I might not be that good, but I like to have fun and dance. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Yeah.
That's really cool. So, what are some of the things that you guys have done for the community, of like a give back or whatever that this?
Well, there's this event that our regional director is doing, where I think they call it tamales political, or I forgot what they call it exactly.
I love tamales.
Yeah, but it's they're basically invite members of the community to come and make tamales and stuff like that, and you know, they talk about politics to kind of inform the you know, the community with you know, what we stand for and what the party has to offer and stuff like that. So, and you get to eat tamales and take them home. So I'm not sure exactly when that's going to be, but.
Well, I'm there. I love tamales.
It's hard to say no to tamale. I try to watch what I eat a little bit. I'm going to be honest, but man, tamales are hard to say no to.
So how many people are like an actual member of this?
Well, right now in Fresno County, I think we have close to 25 members. Somewhat, give or take, but we do have a full executive board. So you know, our chairperson is Eulalio Gomez. He's an awesome guy. And then our secretary is Christine. I'm sorry, you might have to. Yeah, but yeah, we do have a lot of people that are involved, but yeah.
I thought you're the secretary.
No, I'm sorry, the treasurer. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like,
oh, sorry, sorry.
No, that's perfect.
Oh, wow.
No, that's really cool. No, I definitely want to see you and keep in touch about all these events. So, as far as like giving back to the community, you guys don't really. All the fundraisers are more for candidates and not for some other type of organizations.
Well, you know what? The fundraisers are mostly for the one that we're going to have is to kind of help us to get you know, some money so we can support candidates. So it's like a you know, it's a fundraiser to support the RNHA, and then we might have some special guest speakers. I'm not sure exactly who's gonna make it yet, but what we do with that the funds that we raise, we kind of use that to promote, you know, the party and the candidates and stuff like that. So
how long have you been with them?
I think I've been there, I think, a secretary for almost a year now, not too long.
And you've been with the group longer than that, or?
No, actually, the group is kind of new here in Fresno County.
Okay.
So it's a national organization. So.
Wow, why did it take so long for the Fresno to get the
You know
ball
what?
rolling on
I
this?
think Fresno's not too old. I think we're only a few years old. I think less than 2 years maybe. But
wow.
Yeah, we're working on you know, different counties and different regions throughout California. So yeah, we're getting up there though. Pretty soon we'll have some. We'll be able to get chartered and stuff like that, and we'll have voting privileges at the on the state level.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah.
What are so when you talk to like the local Hispanics and you explain your platform and what you guys stand for, what are a lot of the biggest misconceptions when you talk to Hispanic voters and they're like, no, we're Democrats because of this, we would never be a Republican because of this? What are some of the answers you get from that?
Well, one thing when you're, from my experience, when I speak to a lot of Hispanic folks, is that they think for some reason that, you know, the Republican Party is just not welcoming for you know, Hispanics, and that, you know, we don't want people coming over here and stuff like that from.
Right. Okay. So that's one of them.
Yeah. And that's just totally not the case. You know, being a conservative and a Republican, we kind of want to. Well, me personally, it's kind of like a thing where we kind of just want to have a process that works, like an efficient process, to where people can come over and it's efficient. You know, so they don't have to come over here illegally. You know, there's a lot of bad things that happen. You know, I'm sure you've heard horror stories about it. You know, people getting raped and, you know, drug trafficking and stuff like that. So, you know, it would be nice if we could just find a good, efficient system that works. And, you know, I would like if they built some kind of, you know, finish the wall and stuff like that, and just, you know, there was a process for people to come in the right way. Yeah.
And then I've heard that on a fiscal point of view, a lot of times Hispanics think that that Republicans aren't really going to like support them financially or whatever, and they don't understand the tax system, because Hispanics are like one of the hardest working people that I know. So it's like, you know, there should be more. I've heard the debate, why isn't there more Hispanic Republicans, since they are so hardworking, when they may keep more of their money and not get it taxed. So what do you say to those Hispanics that?
Well, that's true. That is something that comes up quite a bit. And you know, this country, to be honest, this country was you know, built on hard labor, hard workers, like the Hispanic community. You know, like you know, the Asian community and stuff like that. So, you know, to be honest, I mean, it would be nice to, you know, we appreciate that. You know, I appreciate it. You know, and you know, I was a hard worker as well. It's a cultural thing, you know. But you know, I started working when I was 8 in a family business, and I wasn't necessarily in a field or anything like that, working hard. But you know, we appreciate their hard work, you know, and that's just something that, you know, that sometimes I think when, you know, we welcome anybody that wants to come and live the American dream here in our country, you know, and fully support it, you know. This is coming over here and selling drugs and, you know, causing problems and hurting people. That's not something that, you know, that's good. You know, welcome hard workers always.
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you're talking to them and you guys have like political debates back and forth, how does it go with the money? Because they think they're getting like taxed. They don't understand a lot of times the more they work, the more it's taking out. How do you explain that to them?
Well, that's the thing too, is that you know, the Democratic Party kind of wants people to, you know, us to be dependent, citizens to be dependent on them, you know, their voter base. And you know, being a Republican, we support you know, taking care of ourselves and working, and, you know, minimum taxes, not a lot of taxes, you know, because you know, with all the things that are going on right now, it's just, you know, it's just inflation and all that stuff. It's really gonna kill the economy. So yeah, that's what.
So you guys try to explain those type of elements. You guys must have some really interesting conversations when people come up at these meet and greets and talk to you guys.
Yeah. Well, we engage with a lot of, it's not necessarily all Hispanic voters. We engage with a lot of, you know, just community members and stuff like that. So, when that happens, we just, a lot of people are registered Democrats, and some Republicans don't even vote. They're registered Republican and they don't vote. So we just, we ask the Republicans to come and vote and to show up and actually vote. And then when we meet Democrats and they're willing to speak with us, we invite them over. We invite them to have a conversation, and that way we could, get to see each other's sides and find out what the issues that are important to them, so we can work through them together and kind of let them know where we stand on those issues. And yeah, that's something that I enjoy doing. And yes.
That's awesome. That was really well said. So we're going to have this great event sometime in November, and then those are some of the candidates that we supported, the ones that you were talking about.
Yeah.
And so will they be there then?
You know what? It's going to be like a RSVP kind of event. Like we're going to sell the tickets and stuff like that. It's not really like an open.
That's good.
But I'm sure there's going to be some great people there, some great candidates, and I think it might be after November, so we might have some new people.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah, holding seats. So we'll see how it goes.
Thank you so much for coming on my show today. This is great, and I'm glad that people now know who you guys are. And you've only been around for a couple of years, so I'm glad.
Well, you're here, yes.
Yeah, in Fresno. So I'm really glad. I'm really glad we brought this here. So
yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on my show.
No problem, Sparkle. Thank you for having me.
Felt right in the moment, felt right in the summertime. It felt right drinking cherry wine with you. Just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here, oh, I must confess, dear, don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do, and there's no more use in running, no more running to you. And I don't want your loving, I don't wanna be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend.
It's a mystery.